Hey, Amanda here. I'm going to show you how to create an interactive presentation using PowerPoint and the Morph transition. Okay, so I'll be taking you through my workflow in how I created this onboarding guide inside Microsoft presentation using just two key functionalities. One is the Morph transition and then the actions, the actions functionality where you can set hyperlinks and set some actions on certain objects to create a interaction. So here we have Zenith Finance, which is a mock company that I made up. And this onboarding guide is to truly help new starters at Zenith Finance to begin their journey in the first few weeks. So really this interactive presentation will be a space to curate relevant resources to help them do the best work at Zenith Finance. So let's go. So when we click next, we have a lovely welcome message for the new employee from their manager. So here, for example, we have Benji, who's this head of sales ops. And something that I didn't know and I learned was that you could actually crop videos inside PowerPoint to a certain shape. So I thought that was really, really cool. In here, I was so happy to see that I could crop a video with curved corners. That to me was a big win because that just means the design potential is, depending on your branding style or branding guide set for your project, you could really crop and shape certain videos or media that you already have to certain things that you like and what suits your branding and overall branding look and feel. And then so the next page, we have just clean iconography, scattered tiles of what the purpose of this guide is. And then we have the homepage or the contents, table of contents, however you want to call it. But for me, I call it the homepage. And here we have some hover interactions. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So when we hover over these tiles, so this style, I've been seeing this Bento UI style all over the place and I just really wanted to recreate something like that. So that's why it looks like this. And when I hover over a box, you can see that the illustration expands to its full size and also spotlighting and highlighting that content there and with a button to navigate to the relevant resources. When I move my mouse away, it will take me back to the home page. So again, in your well-being, you can see the illustration expanding, moving my mouse away, clean. And then my favorite one is this one here because it looks like the rocket is just flying across the screen. So I really like that. And then moving my mouse away and then it's nice and neat in like a cute little bento box. So I will take you through what that looks like. Oh, wait, one more thing. I forgot to click the button. Okay, so when you hover over, you click the button. It will take you through to the allocated resources. So here we're really just curating different resources to external links, but using this interactive presentation as the main source of truth in a sense. So yeah, really cool. Again, you can embed more media, embed more videos, and then a button to hit back home where you put an icon of a home icon if you want, whatever suits you, and then going back again to the main page, homepage. Yeah, so I'm going to show you my design flow from the design tools that I use, illustrations and how I export it, and then we'll go back to PowerPoint. Okay, so my weapon of choice today is Adobe Illustrator. Now, if you don't have Adobe Illustrator, that is all okay. You can use Canva, Figma, Affinity Designer. There are so many tools that you can use as long as you get your beautiful illustrations or normal graphics. I like to export them as a SVG only because when I drag and scale my images inside PowerPoint, it's nice and crispy, so it's not pixelated. You can also export your graphics as a PNG, which with a transparent background, that's totally fine as well. Just make sure that when you export it, it's of a higher resolution. So I'm going to show you a little thing that I love doing in PowerPoint, which is getting the SVG file and uploading it into PowerPoint and changing the colors in there. So you can do that too, which I think is personally very neat. So it actually eliminates you from using Adobe Illustrator if you don't want to. If you don't want to edit your graphics in here, you can do it straight in PowerPoint. So for example, I've updated all of the visuals that I have here, but I want to change this dude number 8 because 8 is the artboard. So I'm just going to go File, Export as, and then I'm going to just go dude number 8, artboard 8, export. Leave everything as is, and that's it. Okay, so now that you have all your graphics, download your graphics, style it to the branding that you want, and then let's go and work in PowerPoint. Okay, so let's start with a blank PowerPoint slide, and before we go into designing the presentation, I just want to quickly show you how to edit your SVG file. So if you've downloaded an SVG and you want to change the colors, you just insert your SVG. So here I have my dude. Just drag it into the thing. Okay, so in order for you to edit your dude, just right click, convert to shape. So now it's split up into all micro shapes that you can change. So I want to change the sweater to a nice blue. So I can do that, and I can select here and I can do blue. Cool. And let's say I want to change this graphic to a more pale blue, or I want to change his hair. I can just select his hair to blue hair. Why not? So there you go. And it's so simple that you can just export an SVG to edit that. And if you want to save your graphic, just copy it all, right click and save as picture, and then you can save it as a PNG. Okay, so let's start with a blank presentation slide. So let's bring over and upload your graphic. So I have a graphic here prepared on the left hand side, and for the right hand side I'm going to create a box. So if we go into the rounded corner rectangle in your drawing shapes panel, you can click and drag downwards a nice box. Selecting this cute little circle, click and drag left to just open up that shape so it's just slightly curved like that, and I'm going to fill in the shape as white and the outline as black so it aligns to my iconography and illustration. So let's go into creating a little identifier, if you'd like to call it that this is a onboarding guide. So same concept, round cornered shape, select the circle, click and drag inwards to create a little really curved long rectangle. Also, if I'm using like weird descriptive words, I'm a self-taught designer, so all the designers out there, if there are technical terms in how we label and name these shapes, please do correct me in the comments. But for now, we are going to call this a really long curved rectangle. So let's fill that with white, and then the outline shape I'm going to create. Let's use eyedropper. Can I pick that color? Yeah. So now we have our blue. And in terms of the text, I'm going to make sure that's black and then type in onboarding. Why is it so big? That's okay. Just reduce the font size. There you go. Bam. All right. Next, we have our company logo. I'm just going to paste it in. And also our text that we have. So if you have any text, you can add it in there. Bam. So take some time, write your text. A line of instruction will be really helpful for your users in navigating this interactive presentation. And then I would like some contrast in the background. So I'm just going to right click, format background, and I am going to select this color here. Oh, too dark. Yeah, I just want like a faint baby blue color. There you go. I like that. Okay, sweet. Let's create our button. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. Again, going into your shape, round corners, rectangle, click, drag across, create your button, select your yellow dot friend, click and drag that to the right. and then fill that shape with a color of your choice. So when we're creating buttons, I like a really strong call to action button. So you want to draw the eyes of your users to that button. So make sure that it's bright or a nice contrasting color to the background that you're using. So I'm going to select that blue. Outline, I'm just going to keep that clear. And then for the font, I'm just going to type in, let's go. And I'm going to make that bold. Okay. So let's add in our first interactive element. So select your button and then go into Insert, go into Links, Action, and on mouse click, go down to Hyperlink and next slide. That's it. We've done the first page. Yay! Alrighty, next page we have our welcome video from our lead, Benji. So let's create that. I'm going to insert a new slide, clear all these bits, and I'm going to change the background to a very light gray. I like that. And I'm just going to create a box for Benji's message. So same goes, rounded rectangle, change that out, fill with white, keep that as black. And also to create Benji's video frame, I just selected Alt and click and drag thinking that it was Illustrator. My bad. Insert rectangle and let's create a little nice aligned portrait style rectangle. And let's make that white with a black outline. I lie, let's make that electric blue. And we are going to insert Benji's video. So if you go into Insert, Video, you can add in your media. So I found Benji's video on Pexels, www.pexels.com, and it has great stock of videos that you can use. Now for the fun, you can select video, shape, and then rectangle, and you can crop your media. Oh, I love it. This is so good. So let's just fix up the border so the width and the padding is all symmetrical. Eyeball it to your liking. I'm just going to move that into the center so it looks nice and neat. Okay, great. So now we're going to add in Benji's title. Isn't it just nice to have like a video message, a welcome video message from your new manager when you start a new job? I love that. So sweet. And now let's add in a heading, another heading for the message bar. So I would go into rectangle, round corners, click, drag outwards like so, position that to the center, and then click your friendly yellow dot, click and drag inwards to create a nice little banner style. And then I'm going to create that as a nice electric blue, shape outline, none. Okay, so now I'm going to add in some text. I'm just going to copy it from my previous design. Yeah. And I'm going to add in some welcome text. Let's just make that a bit wider for some space. And move that to the center. Okay, so now I'll also include a icon. Now the cool thing again about the SVG, you can download a black icon from flaticon.com. This is where I got this icon, and you can change the color inside your presentation. So I'll show you what that looks like. Great. I have this waving icon. I'm going to click it. I'm going to drag it into place. Whoop. And to change the color, I just got to go to shape fill, and I'm going to change, oh no, I'm going to select the icon only, shape fill, bam, there you go, done. Second slide, complete. Let's do the next one. guess what I forgot to show you? Buttons. So adding in some navigation. So let's create a back and a next button for your interactive presentation. So again, using my favorite shape of all time, you guessed it, the rectangle with the rounded corners, I'm going to draw a button like so. Let's create a funky button that's a bit elongated. Shape fill in the electric blue or the color of your choice. Outline is none. And I'm going to use Microsoft PowerPoint's existing iconography that they have. So select the insert in icons and I'm going to type next. It wasn't next, my bad. It was arrow. Oh my gosh, Amanda, I'm so sorry. Arrow. There you go. And then you have all of your arrows that you can pick and select to create your button. But I'm going to use this one. Insert. I'm just going to reduce the size and change that color to graphic fill white. Perfect. I'm just going to copy that, paste it to here, and the arrow, Control C, Control V, and I'm just going to flip it around. There you go. So now you have your two buttons. To add in your functionality, select your objects and insert action, hyperlink, next slide. Now, I find that if you individually add double actions, it will glitch less. I don't know why, but if you were to group your object and try to add in the button functionality, it's not going to pick up when you hit it in present mode. Look, PowerPoint presentation, it's not perfect. This is just another way to design a nice interactive guide for your intended audience. But play around with the buttons, just make sure that if your button isn't working or your interaction isn't working and there's multiple objects grouped together, just add in the actions individually. So I've added in a next action to the outer shape, and I'm also going to add in a next action to the arrow, just for safety measures. Next, same thing to the back. Button, action, hyperlink, previous slide. Again, if you need to know where to find the action link, it's in insert and action. So insert action, hyperlink, and previous slide. Okay, done. That's the navigation for your guide. So let's move on now to the homepage and the contents page where we use the morph transitions. Okay, so I'm going to skip the purpose of this guide slide. You can create that on your own, have fun with the iconography. You can select that on flaticon.com for some free iconography and adding in the buttons once again. But moving on to the next slide, we're going to create our homepage or our table of contents in that bento style box. So what I'm going to do is just move over some text. I'm going to add in some of my graphics that I have for background. And now I'm going to focus on designing the bento. So using my favorite shape, once again, rectangle rounded corners, select that, and we are going to design our bento box layout. So using our little yellow dot, click and drag left, shape fill white, outline black. Or you can do whatever style you like. You can do it 3D, you can do it gradients, whatever you like. And now we are going to just copy and paste that all across. Okay, so now that we have all of our bento boxes, I am going to move in my graphics. So here, the best way to do it is to just drop in your graphic. So I'm using our values guy here. Now I want him to sit inside the bento square, cropped, and when I have a mouse move over that box, I want him to expand and uncrop. So I'm going to crop him first. I'm just gonna cut him off, and I'm gonna cut him from maybe just up in the waist here. And I want to leave the aeroplane dashed zigzag. I think that looks really nice. So I'm just gonna scale him down and get him to sit like that. That's great. So that's the first box, and now I'm going to do that for all of the others. So just have our layout of our bento box ready to go. Let's create our morph transition. So here we have our main landing page or home page or menu page. We are going to duplicate the slide. Use this as your foundational slide. And then I'm going to focus on Zenit value. So let's uncrop our illustration. Now, in order for the morph transition to work really, really well, you need to make sure that you have a original or a base illustration, which is our cropped version. And then for the second slide, what you want to do is create a variation of that original illustration or object that you have. So here in the second variation, what I'm having is an expanded version, an uncropped version of my full illustration, and I'm going to move him to the side here. So when we apply the morph transition, it's going to be nice and seamless. So I'm going to expand him. I also want to move and spotlight this box because that is what our hover state is spotlighting. So Zenit values. I'm also going to remove all of this content here, and I'm going to add in just some generic text there. So the spotlight is on the item that's being hovered by the user. And I'm going to just make that a little bit bigger, the box a little bit bigger, and move the title upwards. I'm going to make this box pop up even more. So let's apply the electric blue and change the font color. I'm going to Control B, make that bold, and change that to white so it's nice and vibrant and contrasting. Control C, Control V, add in some of your text, and I'm going to add in a button. So with the button, my favorite shape, and let's click the yellow dot and drag inwards to create your button. Fill that white, and I'm going to have no outline. Let's make that a bit wider. And text wise, access resources, Control A, and I'm going to reduce the size and make that black. Again, reduce and bold. Okay, so you got that there. Now you have your two variated slides. Now, what's going to happen when the user moves their mouse away? It's probably going to stay in this slide. What you want to do is create a background layer that when a user moves their mouse outside of this tile, it goes back to slide number 4. So let's do that for slide number 5. We're going to insert a rectangle, and we are going to change that color to that faint white. Right click, send to back, and make sure that there's no lines. You can even make that invisible if you like, because you already had and applied a background color, so let's make that invisible. And we're going to select that background, add in an action, so you can go to mouse over, hyperlink, and slide, and go back to slide number 4, so taking them back home. And that's pretty much it. So now we can apply our transition, morph, and morph. Wow. So what we're going to do now is just reduce the duration because it is quite slow. So number 4, number 5, reduce the duration. And then we are going to apply our mouse over effect on the main page. So select your character and go into the action settings, mouse over, hyperlink to, and hyperlink to the slide that you want to create that morph effect for, which is slide 5. And okay. And let's see it in action. Woo! And out. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed that.